Hello you guys, how have you been? Welcome back to another long form video on my channel. I haven't been doing this format for a long time, only for the reason it takes a really long time to edit these videos because they are not like reels or shorts, because they are just from 15 seconds to a minute long, and I feel I'm able to roll out more of those rather than working on a long form video. Also, I don't know, like I still see many creators, the established ones, they are still making long form videos and they still get views. But even as a consumer myself, like if I have to see for a recipe, if I have to look for a recipe on YouTube, I wouldn't have the patience to look through the entire long video. I would rather look for a quick short that would explain me what all ingredients are going, what is the process like, what are the steps like. I would prefer that. I want to know from you guys, like, what do you prefer? Do you prefer seeing long form content, or do you prefer to see shorts? And especially when it comes to makeup, what would you prefer to see? You would want to see a longer form of content where you would spend like maybe say 10 minutes, more than 10 minutes, 15 minutes on a video, as compared if you can learn the same thing on a shorts. Obviously, when it's a longer video, you have, the process is more detailed. None of the steps are getting missed. However, if it's a short, because there is a time constraint and I do, emit some of the steps that are not really, making that big a difference on my face in terms of my makeup, but they still do add in some way or the other, but they are not like really big game changers. So I skip those steps. But yeah, when I'm doing a longer form video, I wouldn't do that. I would, include as, all the steps that I'm doing in the process. Yeah, so do let me know what you guys watch. Shorts or long form video, especially when it comes to makeup. Now coming back to today's video, I'm going to follow Alia Bhatt's, what does it say? It says Alia Bhatt's guide to ice water facials and foundation free makeup. Some of the steps that she has shown in her video, they are not, those time consuming arty stuff. It's so quick. So let's begin watching her video, what she has to say.
Hi everyone, this is Alia, and today I'm going to walk you through my daily beauty / skincare routine, and also take you through my go-to glam and allow my makeup to also.
I hope I have all my stuff ready.
My first step, cleansing.
Okay.
I'll go with this cleansing balm.
So as a step one, she's cleansing her face, and I have already cleansed my face, so I'm not doing it on camera. I use Cetaphil Gentle Skin Cleanser. Moving on, what she's doing, I think she's using a sunscreen next.
Wake up very sort of puffy in the morning. Icing really helps get away, take away that puffiness. So I've literally done my face nice. So here goes.
Okay, I have something to ask. I don't know what's happening with everyone in Bollywood, like all the actresses, everybody is swearing by, doing this ice facial. I know it works. I do it on and off, like it's not a very regular thing for me. But I tell you, doing this way, you have all this water with, so many ice cubes in it, and then you're dipping your entire face in it. It's just a waste. It's just a waste. You don't need it. You can just go ahead, take an ice cube and rub it all over your face until it, it's completely used. If your skin gets really sensitive to ice, just, wrap it in the same cloth and, rub it all over or dab it all over. You don't have to, waste so much of water and so much of ice just for, this ice facial. I see all of them saying, they want to do this because it reduces puffiness. I think it's Katrina Kaif, if I'm not wrong. She was the one who first started and who first talked about this whole thing of, doing ice facials every single day in the morning. For me, I personally like to do them at night before bedtime, if I have to do it, if I'm ever doing it. Also, using ice helps me with, minimizing or subsiding any acne flares that I might have. It helps to minimize the sebum production and helps make my skin look smoother if there is, if it's extreme humidity and my skin cannot handle the moisture that's there in the air and the amount of skincare products that I'm using at the same time. I know sometimes it's my mistake also. Moisturizer, I've already used my moisturizer. I am using this moisturizer. It is from Vichy, from their Normaderm range, and it is excellent for this humidity, for my skin at least, which helps to balance sebum production and minimize any, acne. Okay. Next, she's going ahead with the sunscreen. I haven't applied my sunscreen. I'm going to use this one from Avitara Kombucha. I think that's how you pronounce it. And this is good for oily skin because it is balancing oil-free moisturizer, which has SPF 30. I'll take 3 pumps of it and I'll apply it all over my face. It takes a while to blend it in my skin. I'm done with applying sunscreen. Let's see what she has next. Oh my God, I cannot forget those initial months after giving birth. You just don't find time for yourself. There is no time. All the time that you have is for your baby. With jewelries, I don't know, I just forget them. See, even today I forgot to put them. Sometimes I really have to make a conscious effort to put them on. So this entire video of hers is more like, no makeup kind of look. Like she says in her video that every time she does her makeup, she makes sure that it looks like her skin and it doesn't look like makeup at all. So I'm interested to see how she is achieving that. She's using a strobe primer and mixing it with a foundation. I'm going to do the same. I'm using a strobe cream from MAC and I'm using this Miracle Max Factor X Second Skin Foundation. I really like this one. I just bought it from I don't remember from where I bought it, and I was like, it's really close to my skin tone and it looks really nice as well. So I'm taking this much strobe cream and then I'm using a pump of foundation like this, and I'm gonna mix both of them and apply it. And then she's also not using any brushes, anything. She's just using her fingers for each step. If you have like a sheer foundation which doesn't have a really high coverage, you can definitely go with your fingers and it just takes a little bit time to blend all and get rid of any visible strokes, but it's possible to just blend it with your fingers and you don't need to use any sort of tools. But yes, if you are using a foundation, you are blending it with your fingers, I definitely keep a wet wipe handy, because after this, if I'm touching other things, the tint of the foundation will transfer on to other products and it just makes a mess. Then she goes in with the concealer. I'm using this one here from Milani, Conceal and Perfect. It is such a nice concealer, drugstore concealer, not very expensive. I think it was like $11 or something. It's so nice in terms of its consistency. It's quite creamy. The wand is perfect to reach into, tricky areas. And she said that she is using just to conceal. She's not using a lot of it. But I do see her going in with concealer again, and I wouldn't do that. Whatever I want to conceal, I'll just do it at this stage. And then she also went ahead with some spot concealing. Then she went ahead with a beauty blender because she says it doesn't give as high a coverage, but I would like to let this concealer sit for a bit, and I'll just go in and blend using beauty blender. These days, if you see my reels, if you see my shorts, you would see me using blending concealer most of the time using a brush, because with brush you get more coverage and with beauty blender you get less of a coverage. And even this sponge that I'm using, it's not dampened, it's dry. You will see there is a big difference, you know, when you blend using a dampened beauty sponge and if you blend using a dry sponge, there is a big difference in coverage. The dry sponge will give you more coverage than a wet sponge. Next she goes on to the powder. She's using the Hourglass. I have the same one in the, I think it's the Ambient lighting powder, and this is what the shade looks like. It does have a little bit of sheen to it, and I would just lightly set it under my eyes. Where was she setting? Let's see. It's like her entire face actually, so let's just go. Okay, then she's going in with a liquid blush, and I think after that she's setting it with something, I don't remember exactly. But I'm going to use here this, it's a tint, it's a water lip stain, but I can use it on my cheeks as well. So I'm going to use this as a liquid thing and I'll blend it with my fingers. I hope it's not too much. No, it's just the right amount. While she was doing it with her hands, she's going like this, going back and forth and rubbing it all over. I feel, even though I haven't set my foundation, you know, with a sponge or a brush, I still feel if I just do like this, my foundation, you know, whatever is there in that area might just get moved. So I would love to just tap it and blend it. Okay, then she's going ahead with a cream eyeshadow base. Let me see, I have something. So I'm going to use this from Dr. Renaud. It's a blush, but I'm going to use it really little onto my lids. Now she's using a brush. So she's using a brush to set this thing with another powder eyeshadow, and I'm going to do the same. It's a good trick between two if you want a long-lasting, you know, eyeshadow base, to do a cream shadow and then use the same color powder shadow over it. And then she's using the same color under, you know, just under the waterline, and I'm going to do the same. Okay, then she's going with a shiny powder, like a shiny eyeshadow color, just, you know, below her, just under the brow bone. It's very subtle what she's doing, so I'm following the same thing. Maybe you must be thinking, looking at my videos, that I am always wearing makeup, so much makeup. No, you know, that's for my videos. I love to try out different looks. I love to see where I can take my skills. But if you see me on a regular day, you meet me, you would see me like just without any makeup, nothing. Maybe if at all, it would be like brows done, that too very like just a touch-up kind of a thing, and maybe some lip tint. That's it. Let's see what she's doing next. Okay, she is coming to the brows now. So brushing the brows first. By the way, I'm using this palette from Essence Cosmetics, from Essence brand. It's called Brow Powder. After she has brushed, she has gone in with the thing all over. Okay, then she's going ahead with this device. This tool actually, not device. I have had this for a long time, but I don't use it often. But I'm going to use it now. I use it only when I'm wearing false lashes. So after I put my false lashes on, I would just, you know, take both my real lashes and the false lashes together in that space, and I press it so that there is no gap between the two lashes and they look kind of natural. But today we are going to do this just as is, and see, I just feel that it doesn't work. I feel it's a waste of time. You can just wear a mascara that can have a lifting effect and that can save all this time. I still don't see any difference. Maybe there is a very slight, very something that even only I can notice, nobody else would notice. Let's see what she's doing next. I think she's putting on the mascara. I'm going to use this one from Essence Double Trouble. Some products from this brand, Essence, which is a drugstore brand, products are extremely inexpensive, very reasonable, or I should say highly reasonable. And some of the products are just amazing. Like this one is one of those products. One day actually I was in a supermarket, and whenever I go, I do visit the cosmetics section, the beauty section. And I was there, I was looking for, some new product. If it's there, I would like to try it on. And there was this lady who was maybe in her late 50s, and she was a Spanish lady, and she was looking for something. And then she happened to look at me and she was like, "Ah, you have beautiful makeup on, you have beautiful lashes, what are you wearing?" And I was just standing in front of this, in front of the rack where this was displayed, and I was like, I use this. And she was like, she picked it up and she was like, "Really?" Like it was so unbelievable for her that a product this cheap could give longer lashes and quite nice looking lashes actually, I would say, because it gives you that lift, it gives you the length, it is not clumpy, like you can build it up. If you do 2 coats of it, you can just build up this effect even more. I don't know if she ended up buying or no, because then we parted ways, and yeah, but it was something that I still remember. Maybe because she complimented me, that's why. So she's again going in with the concealer. Maybe she realized that it is not giving her the coverage she wants. But I feel the coverage that I have from the concealer, I don't need anything more. Now this is the trick that she's using here. This is a game changer. It is so simple, and after I use this on my face, I use it quite often, even every time I do my makeup. I think I need a bigger fluffy brush that I don't have. Now she's contouring using a bronzer, number 1, and the way she's doing it, you may think it doesn't work, but it does work, and it adds a lot of dimension to your face. I'm using this palette from Essence, which is a contour duo palette. I'm going to mix the 2 shades, tap off any excess, and just going around my jawline just like this with a fluffy brush. It does give you a very soft contour. Look at this. So she's going ahead with the blush. She's using an Hourglass palette. I'm using this Whispering Rose palette from Violet Was, and I'm going ahead a mix of with these 2 shades in the center, and I just love the peachy color that it gives to my face. Then she is going ahead with a lip color. I think she's using Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk. The one that I'm using here is the Maybelline, and it's called 370 Spice for Me, and it's a stick kind of lipstick. And then I'll just go ahead and apply it. And then she rubs it off. So I'm going to rub it off. So it does leave you with a tint, but again you're wasting, like, why do you have to apply the whole thing and then remove it? Just take a little bit, tap it with your fingers, and it's done. So this is the final look. One of the tricks from her that I loved is the bronzer, is the contour, which is like, it's just magic. Like, I never used contour like that, I never used bronzer like that, which covers with a fluffy brush that would go like this. So it definitely creates a kind of a shadow. It definitely gives me a more sculpted look, and that's how it all comes together, looking pretty, I guess.
I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for upcoming shots and stay beautiful.